My name is Camille, and I have IgA nephropathy. I have 2 forms of kidney disease that makes my kidneys not work properly. Essentially, my body is not excreting the waste as it should be. I was experiencing a lot of edema in my legs, so my legs would get swollen, a lot of tiredness, and occasionally a lot of vomiting. I'm currently in law enforcement. I've been in for 7 years. I'm currently stationed at the high school. I've been there for 2 years. Some of my hobbies include wakeboarding, swimming. I used to be a water polo player, played collegiate water polo, did Junior Olympics. Big part of my identity would be in the water. I like to go boating, I like to go off-roading, shooting. However, with this disease, I would say a lot of those things are very limited. I am no longer able to go in the water. I can't go in wakeboard, I can't even take a bath. Everything just has to be super sterile, and so as summer approaches, it's gonna be very difficult because that's all I do. So I'm trying to find positive ways on how I could change my identity and ways to make me happy. I didn't know what was exactly going on. However, in 2020, that was when I got really sick, and I got hospitalized with acute renal failure. And at that time, I didn't know exactly what that meant. They said that I had a bruise on my kidneys and it would soon go away. However, after a year, I was continuing to have edema in my legs, and I finally got a biopsy, and they advised that I had stage 3 renal failure. I'd say my sister, being in the medical field as a soon-to-be doctor, she advised that this is something that should be taken a lot seriously, and that I need to do my own research because this is very comparable to cancer. However, it's a silent killer. I was mad because there have been signs of protein in my urine for a very long time, and no one ever told me to get it checked. And so over time, it got significantly worse without me ever knowing about it or even attempting to try to fix the problem. I was upset that no one told me to go and get a biopsy even after a year. Now that I'm on dialysis, it takes me a lot longer to make sure I'm prepped for the entire night. I need to make sure that I'm home on time, to make sure I hook up to my machine at a decent time so I can be on time for the following morning for work. Everything's very planned out. It's very difficult for me to travel now because I have a lot of medical equipment to bring when I go on vacations. Emotionally, I have a lot of bad days, however, I'm very silent about that. It's hard knowing what's happening to my body, even though I have no control over it. It's very frustrating to know that there is no cure for it and that dialysis is only just a treatment. And then socially, I would say that even though I haven't lost a whole lot of my friends, they have been very supportive along with my family. I would say my social life is very different. Because I don't go out too often anymore at night. The things I do are also very different. It's hard for me to go camping. It's hard for me to do anything related to water sports or any sports. It completely changed my identity. Dating has been a little difficult as well. I get very self-conscious regarding my dialysis catheter. I've also had an experience where he had stated that he doesn't feel comfortable because of the state and the condition that I'm in, so he didn't want to proceed with actually dating because he's scared of death. I get very nervous telling people what's going on. It makes people uncomfortable. Peritoneal dialysis is essentially I have a catheter that's both internal and external in my abdomen on the lower left-hand side of my stomach. And essentially the tube sticks out and I hook it up to a machine at night and I make sure that the fluid is warm and it comes into the tube and fills up my stomach with dialysate. And then at night, for 6 hours, it does 3 different cycles. So essentially, it fills up my stomach with fluid, and then it dwells, so it sits inside my stomach for a while as it cleans the toxins out, and then it drains out of my body. During the night, I experience a lot of drain pain, so I wake up numerous times because of that. I'm sometimes in just significant pain that I just stop the machine and just kind of lay there. As well with that, I have to make sure that I'm super hydrated because it's taking out a lot of my fluids. So if I'm not super hydrated, I get really bad cramps in my legs. So that's another reason why I wake up. And then also, it's just very uncomfortable. It's an extra chore just to set up my machine, make sure I take my fluid out at night or in the morning. It's a change of life. A lot of people think that nothing's really going on because they don't see what's happening behind closed doors. They don't see me vomiting in the mornings. They don't see me feeling sick. They don't see the lack of energy. They think that everything's normal because I still look almost the same. I'd say watch the signs. They told me that I had a lot of protein in my urine and to tell us to go get checked for this and what's going on. If I would have known, I would have been diagnosed probably a lot earlier and I probably wouldn't be so far down this road as far as my renal failure just completely failing and on dialysis. I just want them to know to educate us. I am really hoping that they come up with a cure, not just a treatment. I am really hoping that something works long term rather than knowing that I may have multiple kidney transplants in the near future. Even though I'm super grateful for having treatment and still being alive, this is not the life that I ever want or ever dreamed of having. I hate this part of my life. And I really hope that for the future there's something else that can be done because I would hate for someone else to live through this. I would want them to know that they're not alone, even though I know this disease feels like we're alone most times. And I don't know very many people that have this disease. Just know that I'm here, I'm not giving up. I'm not losing hope, and just to stay strong.